Welcome to part 2 of the quantum affirmation collapse process. Now, in the first session, we talked about this very, very deep super subconscious mind that harbors what we call the aged care center of your brain. And the aged care center is where all the old people live. It's where all of those people who told you when you were growing up that maybe you weren't good enough, maybe life is difficult, maybe if you're not good, you don't get good things, maybe you're just broke. All of these impressions that you were left with neurologically and biologically in your body run your body. This is the blueprint that the left brain uses to make sure in a linear fashion as it works from future to past and past to future that it keeps repeating its same cycles. Now I want to bring you into what we call the spiritualis breath method and the power of this breath method. So let's say, for example, you and I go into the bathroom and I fill the bath up with water and I come along and I take your head and I put you under the water and hold you there for 10 seconds and let you up again. Well, we're just having some fun. 10 seconds is okay to hold your breath. But now I bring you along and we bring you into the bathroom and we hold your head under the water for 1 minute. Well, after 1 minute, you've got a big problem. In that moment that your brain realizes there's no oxygen coming in, the center of your brain, the cerebellum, lights up and fires up. And it is the controller of all of the other brain regions. So your brain has one electricity grid with only a certain amount of power in there. And that power is just spread amongst the brain for all of the different brain regions to function. But in survival, when I bring you into the bathroom and I hold your head under the water for a minute, within that time period, there is a moment where you stop forgetting about your bills, forgetting about your worries, forgetting about your relationship difficulties, forgetting about your mother-in-law coming over for dinner tonight, and everything is left behind. But prior to us going into the bathroom, you were always sitting there and subconsciously your problems are always cropping up and your difficulties are always there and your stresses are always apparent in your life. But all of a sudden then, by holding your head under the water, there is no difficulty. How does that take place? The cerebellum lights up in the center of your head and that is the survival brain. And it switches off the electricity because it is the controller of the power to the other brain regions. And those are the brain regions that your subconscious brain uses where that aged care center of your brain is with the old habits, the old beliefs, the old way of doing things live. And as you hold your breath for an extended period of time, the cerebellum lights up, this outer brain region then shuts down because the electricity is switched off and now you're no longer doubtful, you're no longer worried. Doubtful and worry is the voice that the ego uses. Be careful, watch out, you better not do it, don't do new things, you're not good enough. All of those live in what we call ego. Not declaring that you have a big ego, that is not the declaration at all. Ego is just a description that we're using to explain to you how this brain works. So in that moment, when the cerebellum is lit up in the center of your head across your two brain hemispheres, right then, the outer regions of the brain are deactivated, so ego is now going to sleep. And in meditation then, and in the quantum collapse affirmation process, as we do the breath exercise, the spiritualis, we deactivate the ego brain. It is switched off, it is deactivated. And as we deactivate it, we can get in then and we can find those old limiting perceptions and literally unwire and rewire those old perceptions. And at the same time, change the emotional fingerprint of those false negative perceptions in your body and adjust them in your body to allow your body escape the feeling of I'm not good enough, like we talked about the drug addict. Give up your idea of giving up the idea. Give up your idea of giving up the drug. And the body is the one that convinces the dreaming brain to go back to taking the drug. So therefore, the body is the one that has become addicted. Therefore, if the body can become addicted to an emotion, and through the quantum affirmation collapse process, we can alter and adjust an emotion, well then you must start to see that if we adjust an emotion of negativity and we adjust that to an emotion of positivity, well then all of a sudden the body starts to learn how to live inspired because it is no longer emotionally attached to those past negative perceptions that your body and mind used to build your survival mechanism. In other words, in short, we just simply disconnect from an old emotion, reconnect to a new emotion, and to do that, we have to get into the ego. And to get into the ego, we do the spiritualis breath method. Now, follow me on the board. I'll walk you through the steps. Number 1, it's in your workbook. Sit up straight, eyes closed, press your glutes into the seat, roll your shoulders forward and then back, create a proud chest, sit with a straight spine, hands to your front, chin to your chest, breath in through your nose, roll your head back, roll your eyes to the sky, hold your breath for 20 seconds, breathe out through your mouth, keep that breath out for 5 seconds and repeat 5 times. So that is the Spiritalis breath method. So let's do that. Now, the more that you do this, the more that you'll practice this, the longer you'll be able to hold your breath. So you'll go from 20 seconds to 30 seconds to 40 to 50 to a minute. And it's a very great way of also energizing your body as well at the same time. So to do the Spiritalis breath method, you just sit straight with your glutes pressed into the seat wherever you're sitting. You do not lie down for this breath method. As you press your glutes into the seat, you just allow your chin to just fall slightly. Don't press it down towards your chest like this. You just keep your chin slightly like this. You roll your shoulders forward and roll the shoulders back, and that creates a proud chest. You get your spine straight. You close your eyes, and then you breathe in really deeply and sharply through your nose, like so. Let me do it for you. So it goes like this. And I hold my breath. And when I breathe out loudly through my mouth, but I count to 20, remember? Like so. And then I just repeat that 5 times. And I try to extend the time each time. So I try to extend that every time that I do that. And the greater you become, the longer you can do it, the more time that you're shutting down the ego, so the more that you get to rewire those old negative perceptions and beliefs that you've been harboring in your life and in your mind for so many years. So that is the Spiritalis breath method. Now, you can just take a note of all of these different things that we're going to be doing. Now, when we do this, right then at this moment in time, there's 2 processes that you do. One that precedes and one that follows this. And it goes like this. Just before you practice the breath method, you get a pen and paper and you write down all of your goals. We'll deal with that in the next video. So know this. You sit doing your breath. Before your breath, your goals. You'll do your breath, and then let me just join it all together for you. After your breath, when your eyes are closed and you've completed the breath exercise, you start to think about those goals, and you can sit with your pen and paper and literally with your eyes closed, just be taking a note of what it is your goals are. So a recap now that we're on the board goes like this. With your eyes open, you just write down your goals. That's it. Just write them down. Whatever you do, make sure that when you're writing your goals, whatever it is that comes to mind, that's it. That's the goal. It just comes out. Even if you don't know how to explain the goal, just put it down in any event. Then you're going to do the Spiritalis breath method. Close your eyes and do your breath. When you do then, you're then going to come along and you're going to write your goals. You're going to have non-tangible and tangible goals. So a non-tangible goal, for example, is happiness. I want more happiness. Well then, if you want happiness, you've got to determine what is it that's going to make you happy. So there might be a series of undertone goals to happiness. So you might say, well, to be happy, Ray, I want my family to settle down and stop berating me. Okay, so that means that you want a greater relationship with your family. That's the goal. You might say, Ray, I just want happiness. I want calmness. So I say, okay, where's the turmoil in your life? And you say, well, the turmoil in my life is all of these people at work that just really, really give me a difficult time. Okay, so you want to create a greater relationship with people at work. Yes, so that's the goal. They have to be that way. You might say, happiness, what's going to make you happy? I want to be able to travel the world. Well, then travel is the goal. So you need to turn a non-tangible into tangible. Now, let me help you now with some areas of life. So in doing that, you'll do your exercise with your eyes open and you write your goals. Then you do not look at this list before you write those goals. Then just before you do the breath exercise, you look at the list and then you focus on the areas of life that you want your goals to reflect in. For example, your health, your relationship, your family, yourself, your relationship, your abundance, your career, your travel, your lifestyle, your bucket list. What are all the different areas of your life that you want to have goals in? And you look at the list just before you do the breath, after you've written your goals with your eyes open. It's a brain trick. And don't think that you'll remember all of them, because you won't. So it just doesn't work that way. So just follow the exercise and you will get the outcome and you will get the determination. Now, so there's those areas again. You can write them down. And what we're going to do next is we're going to talk about the characteristics that you need and own as part of the quantum affirmation collapse process to achieve those goals. See you in the next video.